Hello and welcome to Critical Political Thinking. I'm your host, Corey Camasso, and today I am going to be backing up the story that I had presented earlier yesterday, which is, will we be going to war with Iran? All right, so this story definitely needs update. I didn't have time to throw together a video and audio update, so I'm going to throw together an audio update coupled with a couple images that I found relating to the issue. All right, so let's begin. Where do we stand? Obviously, we have killed Soleimani. He is long gone. Yeah, we are now on day 3. His funeral procession has processed through all of Iraq and into Iran. He is scheduled for burial, I believe it's Monday. He is, tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday. I forget. I apologize. I'm not sure when he's scheduled for burial. That's not important to me. Frankly, once they bury the war criminal, then we will be able to move forward. However, I think that they are going to be planning a very long time. I don't know if this is going to be something that happens all at once. I know they're going to do something first to catch the attention of their people, to make sure that you see that they're not very weak, in a sense, to show that they have power. They need to take a stand. It's obviously going to happen. We know it's going to happen. Do I think it's very unfortunate? You better believe it. Do I want to see it happen? Absolutely not. Is it going to? More than likely. So most of the questions on people's mind are we afraid here in the country? Is there something we need to be afraid of? And to be 100% honest, yes, this is real terror. This is really what's going on now in the country, and it is scary. And no matter what, if Iran attacks, good luck. They're going to get completely devastated. I know this for a fact. You know this for a fact. So they have to really plan their attack. So they're going to do it one of 3 ways. They're either going to hit us cyber, they're going to hit one of our allies or our bases or outposts in the Middle East, or it's going to be home terror. So let's go over a little bit about each in the order that I think that they're most possible to happen. They definitely have a very substantial cyber network built. They do have the ability to move forward with that substantially. And I have a feeling that they are going to utilize this in some way, shape, or form. I mean, right now, the United States relies on the internet and the infrastructure of cyber extremely, way too much, if you ask me. Frankly, for financial aspects alone, I mean, most of our bank accounts are all done through online. All of our passwords are financial savings, our 401ks, anything that you have to do with banking is available through the online format. So you have your banking. Then if you ever want to go anywhere, you've got to book travel. In order to book travel anymore, everything has got to be done digitally for the most part. So you've got travel. So the world will be grounded. They can either ground us, they can literally devastate us financially, logistics-wise, food transport, medical transport, anything that's going to be transported across the country and needs to be tracked and whatnot, they can devastate that as well. As far as, social media goes, I would find it quite funny, to be honest with you, but I would love to see them take down Twitter. I mean, what would Donald Trump do? I love the guy, but what would he do? Literally, he would be lost, and no one would even know that he exists anymore, because the only way he seems to speak anymore is through Twitter. All right, so those are, in my opinion, or, Facebook too, I apologize, but, you get the idea what I'm trying to get at. Cyber is huge right now. Cyber is definitely a way for them to hit America without really hitting America to the point where they've killed us. Literally, we have to retaliate, but it's not murder, it's not death. While it can lead to such, and it will lead to mayhem and whatnot. And like I said, I really do think cyber is the way they are going to try to take us first. However, I do not even know, when this is going to occur. I don't know anything about how they're going to process this, but what I can tell you is all signs point to this, without a doubt. All right, so next we're going to move on to the other 2 forms that I think that they can more than likely take, if not all 3. Next we're going to go with local terrorism, as in terrorism here within the country. Obviously, there are a good deal of Iranians in the country. No, I am not saying that every Iranian in this country is going to attack us. No, I'm not saying any are going to attack us. We do not need to take any action against any Iranians, allow the government to do what it is they do. However, please keep a vigilant eye. Keep an eye on everyone in this country right now, because you don't know who they have working for them. It doesn't have to be an Iranian. It doesn't have to be a white American. It could be anybody. What you need to realize is terror can be anywhere, and right now more than ever, we need to pay attention. Frankly, Hezbollah, the Shiite militias, they can have anybody anywhere, and sadly, that's the facts. While we are building a wall, we didn't build it fast enough, apparently. People can get into this country. There is the sea. People coming through, the oceans every day. We can't build a wall all around the country, but we can do our best to fortify it, and that's all he's trying to do. But at the same time, we did take out this very influential and important person to this country, and they are reaching out to all of their allies at this point and trying to see what options they have. And right now, for instance, within local terrorism, they could be sending anybody or have anyone here to the point where now if you look at New York City, you look at all the airports, everywhere you go, it has become fortified. And that's scary to walk around in this country and see people with large firearms, here to protect us. If they need that just worries me so much right now. And it just means that we need to pay attention and be more vigilant than ever. That is why I'm trying to bring these out as fast as I can. And I do apologize, like I said, for no video. But at this time, I just hope you're, listening and understanding the situation and the severity of the situation we're in. And I hope we can move forward, as a country and work at this. All right. So the final and third way that I feel that these characters can take action against the United States would be, hitting our allies or hitting our forces over where they lie in the Middle East. And like I said, I did them in the order that I think they're going to happen. I do think all three will happen in some form or the other. However, I think this is going to be the way that they do it. It's going to be strategic. May not even be within the next week, may not be within the next month. We don't know this. It could be tomorrow. But what I am saying is they are going to be strategic, and they're not just going to fire off. That's not what Iran does. They're known for being very methodic and, now more than ever in the most serious situation I can see since well before the 2000. This could be just as bad as us entering the Iraq War in 2003, if not worse. So like I was saying, they can definitely hurt some of our allies over there, Israel, United Arab Emirates. They can go after anybody over there. And they are close enough to hit with their short-range ballistic missiles. We're almost confident they don't have any active nuclear, which is more than great. But another downside to them not having nuclear at this time is they just pulled out of the 2015 nuclear treaty that we had with them, meaning now they can produce any amount of payload they want and continue to build and operate their nuclear system. So they basically said, after you just did what you did, we are now officially done with whatever it was that we had in place. It is now officially over by your actions, is what they have concluded. So that means, number one, they're going to be building their nuclear, and that's why I labeled this as the third, because number one, they don't, at this time, I don't think they have the ability to get it to us, while as far as distance and, the long-range ballistics they have at this time, just from what we know, are not capable. However, they are capable of hitting, our allies in Israel and the UAE. So, that is something that we really need to fear, and they can also hit our bases, they can hit our, our contractors, any of our civilians that happen to be in that area, they can be targeting. And not only can they target them with, the ballistic missiles that they currently have, they're working on their nuclear arsenal so they can threaten and possibly take on future, in the near future, our allies, should we go to war and it take long, by the time we get through half of it, they may have all that already ready to roll, and we can all be in trouble because we're sending over another 3,000 troops, probably more right now. So basically that is my theory as far as it goes with those three, the cyber, local terrorism, and then obviously terrorism over in their area. Now they're also going to have the ability to attack our, our Navy and our Marines that are located in the Middle Eastern seas. As far as, our troops, right now we have troops in obviously our ally areas and our military bases. We do have our embassies all in place at this time. However, we do have a really big issue, and, that is as far as we goes with Iraq. Now, Iraq, they had their parliament meet in regards an emergency meeting in regards to the death of some of their militia leaders, as well as Iran's. At this meeting, prior to the meeting, the entire parliament that attended, which is about 170, I think they said 170 out of the 300 plus that, are members, the 170 that were there started cheering death to America, and in which time they concluded that the American soldiers need to leave immediately. They want them out of their country, and they filed a parliamentarian document to the effects of such. And basically now the prime minister has to concur, but for what I understand, he's the one that wrote it. So basically they're going to be removing the United States from Iraq. All soldiers need to be out. They haven't set a time, they haven't set a method, and they haven't set a date. However, that is something that they are going to be doing shortly, in reaction and retaliation, in a sense. So what that means is we have Iran and its allies preparing, as well as the United States and our allies preparing. However, as it stands, our allies fear Iran, as they are close enough to be obviously homeland terror. And in a sense, they are trying to be as peaceful and de-escalate this as fast as possible. However, Iran and Iraq are understanding that while de-escalation is probably best, they can't de-escalate without some show of force, because that would show that their country is extremely weak. So, where does that put us? That puts us, in my opinion, at war. There's no other way to put it, unfortunately. America, they are going to retaliate. They said they're going to retaliate. The moment they do retaliate against anything American, America is going to be hitting 52 of their targets. 52 for one of each of the hostages that Iran took. And basically, there's nothing any of us can do about it at this point. The ball has already started rolling. The only thing we can do is fortify and protect ourselves. I'm not saying fortify like go jump in a bunker. I'm saying fortify in a sense that keep your eyes open. We are all Americans, and we all need to protect America. Look around. Make sure things are where they belong. Make sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. It's not annoying, it's not driving them nuts, it's protecting our country, and right now we are the eyes and ears for America, and we need to protect it. This is our land, and we need to make sure that no one takes its sacred sanctity. So obviously there's a few issues arising out of all this. A lot of kids are being scared that they're going to be going into the draft. Right now I'm pretty sure we have enough enlisted American, by the willing enlisted American, I should say, and that would be, sufficient at this time. Should we do go to war, we do need to remember that the Middle East is, smaller. I believe they have under 1 million as far as it goes in total military. I think it's something like 300,000 and 500,000. 500,000 enlisted, 300,000 reserves. However, what we need to understand is going to war at any time is horrible, especially with a country that does have nuclear testing in place and the ability to complete now that they have backed out of the deal and all eyes are off, in a sense. They can move it forward at whatever pace, and now that they see a need to move forward at a faster pace, I'm sure they are going to be getting right on the ball. What can they hit now? They can hit any one of our allies, without a doubt. They can get into any one of our allies' countries if they're not already in there. They can get into our country right now if they're not already in here. It's not that they can get in, it's that where there's a will, there's a way. And it only takes one to do huge damage. Even from Americans, it only takes one. Take a look at, Vegas. Take a look at, San Diego. All these places where, terror reigns. It doesn't take more than one. So, make sure you keep your eyes open. Make sure you protect your own, and make sure that we keep this country safe. Pay attention to the news. Make sure you understand what's going on. Watch your travel plans. I would stay away from big cities. I will be personally doing such, while still trying to get the best news that I can to provide you. As far as cyber attacks, make sure your accounts are protected, change your passwords. Anything that you had stored or are storing, make sure that you don't. Try to remember everything, keep it odd. If you can get some password rotators, don't download anything that generates passwords for you. That's one cyber way for them to hit us, is going to be, applications downloaded to our phones. Do not download anything over the next few months that you don't need, or that you don't get from a trusted or recognized source. Any kind of computer programming, any kind of tax programs, any kind of coupons, any kind of, basically anything that you don't know the sender personally or recognize from long business standings. Stay away. Don't do it. Don't open it, delete it, report it. There are many ways to do that. Make sure that you're paying attention, America. They can get us if we let our guard down. But we're a great country, and we've got, in my opinion, a great leader. And while this may have been a bold move, we can't stand down from these people. We can't let these people dictate to us how we are going to live our lives. We have to tell them, and we have to tell them now, that this is how we do it. We are Americans, and we will not tolerate terrorism. We will not tolerate a single American killed. They always say, why did he do it now? Why did he wait? Why did our country wait? Well, it's very simple. Everyone else up to this point was afraid of him. They were afraid of what was going to happen. Well, they received valid information that I'm sure will come to light. But the reason it's probably not coming to light is for the protection of whoever provided the information that something was going to happen without a doubt, and they needed to act. America did that. They took this guy out, and that was exactly what needed to happen. The Americans are in a much better position because he is gone, and the Americans are now in a better position worldwide because now people understand we're not going to go and take out the people that you send to kill us. You're not going to take out your little, no offense, but, the smaller military, the first entry, the rookies. No, we're going to go after the leaders. We went after the number 2 because that's what America needs to do. We're not afraid of anybody. We're going to go to the top if that's who hurts America. And if you do anything to hurt America, may God save your soul. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Corey Camasso with Critical Political Thinking. I really want to thank you for listening to part 2 of Iran at War. And please, please do me one favor. Pay attention. Keep America safe. My name is Corey Camasso, and have a great day.